Your homework was factorising and practicing all of them. So there's, like, I don't know, was it 9 or 10 questions or something? Okay, so we get going. Guide number here is the 2 by the 2, which is a plus 4, because both of those 2's are positive. Factors then are 4 times 1 or 2 times 2. We're going to try and use those numbers to make a plus 5. Okay, so if I add 4 and 1, I get 5. If I minus them, it's not going to work anyway because the 5 work anyway. If I minus them, I get 3, so that doesn't work. If I add these, I get 4, which is wrong, and if I minus them, I get 0, which is wrong. Again, you can get into the point where you're doing this a little bit in your head. Okay, so it's going to be 4 by 1, and we are trying to get a plus 5, which means I'm going to need a plus 4 and a plus 1. Okay, so then we have 2x squared, and in place of the plus 5x, I'm going to put in these. So it's plus 4x and plus 1x, and then I still have the plus 2. Okay, then I'm going to bracket them off and set up my groups. Okay, so here common number is 2, and this can be written as 2x's, so my common letter is x, and I open up my bracket, and then I'm going to divide by 2x here, and I'm going to divide by 2x here. Okay, so 2 divided by 2 is 1. This x will take out this one and leave 1 behind. This is a positive 2x, so 2 pluses are signs of the same. I'll get a plus. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and the x's will take each other out. Both pluses, so I go with a plus. 1 and 2, so my common factor is 1, and I have no letter. So I'm just dividing by plus 1. Okay, so 2 pluses mean a plus, but I normally don't put a plus if it's at the start of something, so I'm not going to put it. So 1 divided by 1 is 1, and then the x is there. Here, plus divided by plus signs are the same, so I get a plus, and 2 divided by 1 is 2. Okay, you can put the plus at the front both times if you want. It's just normally when we start something, like for example up here, this is a plus 2x squared, but you don't put the plus at the start. Okay, but you must put them in the middle. Anyway, next thing then is to check if they match. So I have a plus 1x and I have a plus 1x, so they match. And then I have a plus 2 and plus 2, and they match. So I got it right. So I write down my 1x plus 2, which is my matching bracket, and I write down my 2x plus 1, which is going to be my answer. Okay, first one. Second one. Okay, so I might pace a little bit on these. So it's a plus 3 and a plus 6. Multiply them and you get a plus 18 for your guide. So what are they called? Factors are 1 by 18, 2 by 9, 3 by 6, 4, 5 doesn't work. Okay. So I'm not going to write them out this time. If I add these, I get 19. If I minus them, I get 17. That's not going to work because I'm looking for minus 11. If I add these, I get 11. If I subtract them, I get 7. Okay, so I can get 11 using these. And then here, add 9 and subtract 3, so that won't work. Okay, so it's definitely this one. Now, I need to get minus 11 using these numbers. So the only way I'm going to get that is to put a minus on both. Minus 2 minus 9 equals minus 11. And then if you multiply minus 2 by minus 9, the signs are the same, so you'll get a plus, and 2 by 9 is 18. Okay, so it works. So we go back, and we have 3p squared, and then instead of minus 11, I'm going to write these. So it's minus 2, don't forget to put the p's on, minus 9p, and then plus 6. Okay, our groups. Again, your groups might be different to mine if you wrote down the minus 9 first, but you should still get the same answer. My factor here is 1 and p. and then we divide by 1p, and we divide by 1p. 3 divided by 1 is 3, and then this p will take away one of them, so we'll just leave 1 behind. Minus and plus different signs give me a minus. 2 divided by 1 is 2, and then the p's are gone. Now here we have a minus and a plus, so it could be either, so pick. I'm going to go to minus. Number that divides into both would be 3, and there's no letter. So open it up. So I'm dividing by minus 3, dividing by minus 3. So these signs are the same, which gives me a plus, a leading plus I wouldn't write down, so I won't write it. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then the p. Same signs, or sorry, they're not the same signs, they're different signs, so I'll get a minus, and then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So do they match? This here is a plus 3p, and this here is a plus 3p, so they match. And this is a minus 2, and this is a minus 2, so they match. So it works. So my matching bracket is 3p minus 2, and my highest common factors are 1p minus 3. Just because it's going to be a bit of a mess, I'll highlight that as the answer. Okay, keep going. And these ones are the longest anyway, the next ones are quite a bit shorter. Right. So we have a negative guide here. We're multiplying plus 3 at the front with minus 4 at the back, so that's minus 12. Ignore the minus for now and just do your factors. So 1 by 12. Don't know why I skipped there, sorry. 3 by 4. 2 by 6. And that's it. Okay. So I'm trying to generate a 4 out of these. A plus 4. Okay, but like I said, kind of get the number first and worry about the sign later. So if I add 1 and 12, I get 13, and if I minus it, I get 11. So 13 and 11, neither of them are 4, so that's not going to work. Sorry. If I add these, I'm going to get 7, and if I subtract them, I get 1, so no. If I add these, I get 6 2 is 8, no. But if I minus them, okay, if I minus them, I get a 4, so this is going to work. Now, I need a plus 4. So what signs do I put on 2 and 6 to get a plus 4? So if I make them both plus, just go through this. If I make them both plus, that's going to be plus 2 plus 6, which is plus 8. That's not right. Okay. So if I make them both minus, that's minus 2 minus 6, which is minus 8, which is not right. So then I need to do different signs. So if I make this a minus and this a plus, minus 2 plus 6 is plus 4. Okay, so that works for here. And then does it work for here? If you multiply two numbers with different signs, you get a minus. And 2 times 6 is 12. So it works. Okay? So just skip down a little bit. So we go 3x squared, then we rewrite this using these. So it's minus 2, don't forget the x, plus 6, don't forget the x, and then your minus 4. Okay, so we're going to bracket it off to pair it up. Never seen too many good pairs. Okay, pen. Okay, so common factor numbers wise is going to be a 1, and letters is going to be an x. Open up the brackets. Divide this by 1x and divide this by 1x. I need to acknowledge that it's plus 1x for the middle. 3 divided by 1 is 3, and this x will take out one of the x's on top, leaving just one behind. Minus and plus are different signs, so that's going to be minus. 2 divided by 1 is 2, and then the x's. Gone. Now here are different signs, so I have to pick, so I'll pick a plus. Yeah. 6 and 4, so that's a 2 common factor. Right, so I've gone with a plus 2. Plus 2. Plus 2. Okay, so again, a plus and a plus, same signs, would leave me with a plus here. It's a leading plus because I'm only starting the bracket, so I won't bother writing it down. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then I have my x. Different signs here will give me a minus, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2. So check your brackets. So this is a plus 3, and this is a plus 3, and a minus 2, and a minus 2. Yay. So I have 3x minus 2 as my matching bracket, and 1x plus 2 as my highest common factor bracket. Okay, so that's your trinomials, I think. Yeah. So 14 is not a trinomial. How do we know? Clear answer me. There's only 2 terms, not 3. So with this one, 4 is a special number and 49 is a special number. Special number, square numbers. Okay, so we can open a bracket here and put in our square, and open a bracket here and put in our square. So what squared makes 4? It's 2 and then the a. Okay, again, if you give the square to each of these components, so if you square the 2, you will get back the 4, and if you put the square on the a, you will get back a squared. Here, 49 comes from 7, and then b, and again, if you apply the square to the 7, you will get back the 49, and if you apply the square to the b, you will get back b squared. So to write down your answer, it is the first one minus the second one, the first one plus the second one. Okay? No squares in the brackets. The 2 brackets should be identical with the exception of one being plus and one being minus. Okay, that's always how your answer looks. To a difference of 2 squares. Okay, getting there. So now that we know which one it is, it's pretty obvious that this is the same. So we open up our bracket and we square, minus open up our bracket and we square. So 16 comes from 4 and x, and the 9 is 3, and then your y. Open up your bracket, first minus second, first plus second. Again, no squares in the bracket. That didn't work. No squares in the bracket, and identical brackets with the exception of one being plus and one being minus. Okay, and we always follow that trend. Okay, and this one, same again. Again, I can tell that because of the numbers, which are 181, which are both on that square number list. And as well as that, both of the letters involved are squared. So this is 100 comes from 10, and then b, and then 9 and a. Okay, and your big brackets. First minus second, first plus second. Oh, a bit too far. Okay, last few now. Now, this is another change again. So you do have the squared here in the first one. That looks like it could be. No minus. Okay, remember these are called a difference of 2 squares, and the word difference means minus. So the fact that this is no minus, straight away, it's not going to be a difference of 2 squares. Also, 2 is not a square number, so you can't do something squared and get an answer of 2. So no, and then the x isn't squared. Okay, so this is definitely not a difference of 2 squares. What it is a highest common factor. So we throw in our invisible 1 here. So between 1 and 2, the common factor is 1. And like we've done loads of this in the trinomials, but x squared is the same as 2x's. So I have 2x's here and 1 here, which means I have a common x. So you open up your bracket and divide by the highest common factor, which is 1x. Okay, so 1 divided by 1 is 1. One of these x's will take out, this x will take out one of these x's, and you have 1 left. This 1x is a plus 1x, so I have the same sign, which means my answer is plus. 2 divided by 1 is 2, and these x's will just take each other out. And that's your answer. Okay, and another one of those. Okay, so 10 and 2, common there is going to be 2. And same here again, we have an x squared here and an x, so common is going to be x. Open up my brackets, so I'm going to divide by 2x. This 2x doesn't have a sign, so it has to be positive. So, Okay, so it's a plus both times, but like I said, sorry, this is also a plus. Signs are the same here, so the answer would be a plus. You can put the plus in if you want, but it would be unusual to write a leading plus. And I'm about to start a bracket, so you don't need the plus. Now, if it was a minus, you'd need it. But if it's a plus, you don't need it. So 10 divided by 2 is 8. Oh my god. No, it's not. Sorry. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then this x will take out one of these x's, leaving x behind. Signs are the same here, so we get a plus. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then the x's will take each other out. Okay, so insert my little square. Why it works sometimes and then work doesn't others. Right, there you are. There's the answer. Now you can immediately see that we have a change here, and these ones are real obvious to pick out because there's 4 of them. Okay, so it's the groupy ones. Okay, so we're going to throw in our first group and our second group. So AE, like you can put ones in everywhere if you want. Like there's a load of invisible ones in here. It'll work fine if you don't do that though. So common factor is 1 and A, and divide, or not divide, throw in our bracket, and then divide by 1A here, and divide by 1A here. 1 divided by 1 is 1. The A's will go, leaving you with D. This is a plus 1A, so signs are the same. So I get a plus, 1 divided by 1 is 1. A's are gone, and you have an E. It's all pluses, so I'll choose a plus in the middle. Common is 1 and C. Green, divide by plus 1C, divide by plus 1C. Plus divided by plus is a plus, same signs as a plus. It's leading, so I won't write it. 1 divided by 1 is 1. C's are gone. And then I have D, signs are the same, so plus 1 divided by 1 is 1. The C's cancel, so I have E. Now that would be exactly the same with no ones. So we just had D plus E plus C bracket D plus E. Exactly the same. Okay, so let's have a look and see our matches. So this is a plus D and this is a plus D, so they match. And this is a plus E and this is a plus E, so they match. Okay, so D plus E and then A plus C. Okay, and if you have a load of ones in there, that's completely fine. So if you have 1D plus 1E equals, or bracket 1A plus 1C, totally fine. Okay, and the last one. Right, so bracket it off. These, and then these. Okay, so 3 and 6 is a common 3. AB and BY, that's a common B. And open up. Okay, so we divide by 3B, we divide by 3B. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1. The B's cancel. Oh, I didn't cancel a B there, sorry. There you go. B's cancel, and you're left with A. This 3B is a plus 3B, so these signs are different. Getting minus. 6 divided by 3 is 2. The B's will cancel, leaving me with Y. Okay, so the second bracket has 2 different signs. So pick. I'll go with plus. And there's a little invisible 1 here. So 1 and 2, your common factor is 1, AX and XY, so that's an X common. Open up, and we'll divide this by plus 1x, and we'll divide this by plus 1x. Okay, so same signs mean plus, but it's a leading plus, so I won't write it. 1 divided by 1 is 1, and then the x's cancel, leaving you with A. Sorry, I'm still in green for some reason. Different signs, so this is a minus and a plus, giving me a minus. 2 divided by 1 is 2, and then the x's cancel, leaving me with y. Okay, so this is a plus 1a, and this is a plus 1a, so they match. This is a minus 2y and a minus 2y, so they match. Grand, so my answer is 1a minus 2y and 3b plus 1, dodgy x. All right, so go through all of those answers. There's a lot there, and it's a very, very important exercise because each individual bit is very important that you can do, but even just again from my experience, people tend to get each individual bit eventually. What they really struggle with is separating them from each other. So can you pick out a trinomial because it has its own method? Can you pick out, sorry, it's not a charger. Can you pick out a difference of two squares? Because obviously it has its own method. So there's 3 different methods there. And if you can pick out which type of question it is, how are you going to apply the method, whether you know how to do it or not, okay? So really I want you to get 2 things out of this exercise. First of all, can you do it? So can you factorize a trinomial like we did in the first 1, 2, 3? Can you factorize a difference of 2 squares like we did in these 3? Can you factorize a highest common factor, whether it comes as only one highest common factor or as 2 that you have to match up? So can you do those 3 individual skills? And then were you able to pick it out? Were you able to look at the first 3 and realise that's a trinomial? Were you able to look at the second 3 and go, right, I know that's a difference of 2 squares? Okay, so you're kind of testing yourself on 2 levels there. Okay? Let me know if there's any issues. Like clearly I divided 10 by 2 and got 8 there, so if I made any mistakes around, do let me know.